Welcome to the Troy Kearns podcast. We discuss real estate investing, entrepreneurship, and business to help you retire and become financially free. Make sure you share this podcast with someone who could benefit from it and leave us a 5-star review. It truly helps me out. This show will mentor you towards financial freedom. If I can do it, so can you.
Today, we're doing like a mini podcast / question and answer. I've got Brayden Metcalf from Olathe, Kansas. He is a baseball player turned real estate investor. He's been wholesaling. Tell us a little bit about like how you got started.
Yeah, so I really had no real estate experience. My mother was in real estate, so I knew that side of the business, not much the investing side. I went through some life stuff and I just jumped into it. I was one of those that actually took action.
Yeah.
Not many people do that, and that's what I heard. So I was like, I'm going to be different.
You heard that?
Yeah, just social media. Social media. I mean, you see it, people, and the ones that are successful always say it. Yeah. And the ones who aren't, you don't hear about them. You know what I mean? So took action, joined a group, met some people in there who I connected with, taught me a lot, and it was kind of up from there. Just started learning as I went and learned from people who already had their foot in the door and were already successful. So it's good to surround yourself with people like that. So
yeah, and I think that if I was your age again, I'd want to be right in the position that you're in, like to learn from people that like, cause I spent like 15 years fucking up, like, and like you get to learn from all my mistakes and it doesn't cost you anything. And, you can really put yourself at 19 years old, by the time you're 25, you should be able to be richer than probably anybody else. Like right now, you're just kind of learning deal marketing, team, I would say some team building. We have a pretty decent sized team behind the curtains.
Yeah.
Like,
it's one thing I didn't have. So I'm definitely learning that. Yeah.
And then ideally you're going to learn how to run the whole operation so that I can just like go back to what I'm trying to buy casinos and do other cool stuff. I feel like I've been doing wholesale and like kind of like going backwards a little bit, not like necessarily a bad thing, but I feel like I'm this kind of revisiting some parts of my life versus, so I really want to, not that I'm, I think that sometimes you got to do that, but I wouldn't invest the time if I didn't have someone like you right here, because it's just a lot of time, right? As you know, building this stuff out. So I want to kind of go like Q&A. We talked about this. This is our second time recording this. The first time it like got messed up. I don't know what the hell happened. I got really mad when that happened because I'm like, what? We just had really good.
Can't prepared this time. We got a list of questions.
Okay, well that's even better.
Yeah.
So let's just go into it, man. Like this, if you're brand new to investing, or if you're starting off, or maybe you haven't done anything before, like our whole goal, or at least my goal, is to help you get to where I've gotten. I've made a lot of mistakes along the way. I mean, I almost went bankrupt in 2005. I pretty much did everything wrong, but I took action, and I didn't quit. And those are the two things. Like, even no matter what you do, if you take action, don't quit, you're going to probably be successful. So, but you can learn a lot from those things. I know a lot of guys who invest in real estate, who are real estate investors, but don't own any real estate. They just wholesale a lot. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of things along the way. So what I asked Brayden is, he's 19 years old. He's got a good head on his shoulder. I said, come in here. Let's just have you do a bunch of questions. So I'm going to let him take it from here.
Cool. So we can start with just acquisitions, wholesaling side of things, right. Kind of go down the line into some other stuff. But the first thing I wanted to ask you, which a lot of people probably need to hear who are wanting to get into wholesaling.
Yeah.
For all like the newbies, who want to get into the business, they don't really have money. What would be the first place they should start, or how should they start marketing and driving leads?
Yeah. I mean, I think that if I was brand new to wholesaling, the first thing I think you got to do is understand what a freaking contract is. I think so. If I was going to back up a little bit, I think a lot of guys get into it and they don't understand what the hell even a contract is, or what a turning factor, all these other things. And I think that you got to understand, number one, what is wholesaling? Well, it's getting a contract and then selling that contract. How does that work? What documents do I need? I need an assignment contract, or I need to have a double close, which is 2 purchase and sale agreements that talk to each other. So that's the first thing I would recommend. After that, I would just go off the MLS because it's cheap. There's a lot of motivated sellers out there, and I want to be building my confidence talking to people versus doubting myself, not doing anything.
Definitely.
Because there's a lot of doubt when there's idle time and you're not getting anywhere. And when you're going after off-market deals, it's going to be a long time before you get your first deal.
Oh yeah.
And so if you're at least talking to people on the MLS, they have properties for sale, at least you're talking. You're developing some skill sets. So I would say MLS first. Then after you do the MLS, start investing your money into some sort of marketing. And if you're not going to go after the MLS, I don't know why you wouldn't, to be honest with you. I think you should just do the MLS. But the second thing I would recommend is calling people, because you're trying to build skill sets, right? Like wholesaling, if you wholesale your whole life, you're just going to be a wholesaler. Yeah. If you flip your whole life, you're just going to be a flipper. But if you develop skill sets like this podcast, I didn't do a freaking podcast ever. I just reinvented myself. I'm 47. I just did my first one in 2021 or something, maybe. So I'm 4 years in, but this is a skill set to learn how to talk to people and learn how to say certain things that set people off, like tenants are bad. You know, I do that all the time.
Gutters on houses.
Yeah, like I do that stuff because I know it hits. So like it's a skill set.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know a lot of people, like when they're like either start finding buyers, start finding, leads. What do you think about that? Because we talked about that on the first one.
That's right.
Yes. Let's go back into that.
Yeah. So if you do start as a wholesaler, and you're going to go to the MLS, you do need to have a buyer first. Like, so what I would recommend is that just go on Facebook groups and start like posting other people's deals, and then like say, hey, I've got a deal here, and post it. Like, there's no rules on Facebook, really.
Well, once people start seeing you posting more and more, then they know you're legit. Even if it's not your deal, I mean, you can start having conversations.
Well, look at Alex Connolly. I just know that guy's name. Yeah. He's always posting
all the time.
He's always posting. So the whole point is you need to find a buyer, and you want to find a guy like me who's actually going to buy stuff. So somebody who's like a real serious buyer. How do you do that? I wouldn't do a bunch of research. I just start posting stuff, because usually buyers are pretty active, and you're going to run into a couple people, and you're just going to start having conversations with them and be like, hey, you're kind of interviewing, but this is where people make mistakes is they don't have conversations and get to know people. They just start
get to the point.
They get to the point. It's like, man, like, how are you going to get to know someone? Like, learn what that person's all about. Introduce yourself, be nice, give them a compliment, and then dig in a little bit and say like, hey man, just curious, what are you looking to buy? Okay, cool. How many deals did you buy last year? I know it's none of my business, but like, I just am curious what your appetite is.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I've only bought one deal, then they're probably not a serious buyer. If they're like, I bought like 15, why are you asking? You know what I mean? Like, they might be like a little bit like, we're all like egomaniacs a little bit.
Same thing with talking to sellers though, too. You know what I mean? You got to have a conversation with them, really build a rapport instead of just, you want to sell your house. You know what I mean? So it goes both ways.
Yeah, that is the weakest line ever. People are like, oh, here's a script. Hey, I'm calling to talk to you. See if you're like, yeah, you might get lucky and get a lay down. But the first thing you always want to start with anything is like, give a compliment. It's the best way to disarm people. I do it. You probably just pick it up from being around me. I do it like on everything all the time. Compliment women on their hair color. Compliment people if they got a nice outfit, 7 diamonds. And I'm like, oh, like I just try to notice because there's a reason that you went to 7 diamonds and you spent your hard money there. And so you're proud of if you're going to wear it. And so if I notice, like, you're like, oh, this guy's paying attention. He's understanding. It's genuine. I'm not just throwing it out. I've trained myself to do that.
Yeah. And people might have you compliment over the phone when you're talking to someone.
You have a nice voice. I like your name. That house has got a lot of potential. You definitely could tell what you're doing.
There's always a way to compliment someone.
There's always a way. And if not, you build common ground. People are generally into sports. I would say like 90% of people are like sports fans.
Especially here.
Yeah. So like, hey man, are you watching the Dodgers game right now? They got destroyed last night. Again, they keep switching out the pitchers. Like, what the hell's going on? Find something that you can build common ground. If you can't build a compliment, build a common ground.
Cool.
Yeah.
So kind of on that same track. So once you start actually making money doing wholesaling, where would you start putting that money into? Yeah,
it's my favorite question. Buy rentals. Buy rentals, or buy your house and turn it into a rental, like I told you to do. Like I wouldn't even move out, and I'm kind of saying the advice to you right now. I wouldn't even move out of my parents' house unless I was going to buy something that I could learn how to be a landlord, manage myself, because again, I'm developing this skill. So if I buy a house and I rent out the rooms, I got to learn how to have difficult conversations with people. I got to learn how to manage utilities, and everything that makes you tough makes you better. And like, if you're looking at like, well, I think I deserve to live on my own. Okay. Then you're pissing away your money. Like here, life is it's not an 18-inning game. It's a short game. And the sooner that you can do things and take action, like, so if you can learn the skill set of renting out your house, buying a house, and you push off like, oh, I want to be independent or I want to have my own spot.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm going to suck it up for a little bit, save the money that I need, buy my house, if I'm a new wholesaler, right, and I'm a new young, I'm speaking like you're his age. If you're a little bit older and you already own your house, then you should buy rentals.
Okay.
So my biggest thing is like, I just talked to another guy today. He's like, yeah, he's got a bunch of money in the bank. And Jared, he was going to be on our podcast. And I was like, and he's like, yeah, I didn't listen to your advice. And people, what happens is, even this is with Jared, is something eventually happens and it conforms with their narrative that they tell themselves. So for him, he's scared to buy rentals. And so like everybody who was telling him to buy rentals or to start flipping is getting their ass kicked right now because they were just aggressive and they were too not strict and they were just, and then the market changed on them.
Yeah.
And so now his narrative fits like, well, they're going out of business. And I'm like, bro, like I would rather just buy rentals. I would rather buy rentals than flip. Flipping takes a lot of effort.
Yeah.
I'd rather just buy rentals. I'd rather fix the rental, put a tenant in there and forget about it.
Yeah. How do you underwrite and find rentals that make sense for you?
Well, so the rule that I used to use all the time was if I can buy it for 40 and it rents for 800, that's the 2% rule.
Yeah.
That's a freaking no-brainer. And we're in the Midwest, and this applies like in multiple markets. Like, what did we just lock a house up for the other day?
Talking about the 2 for 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. In like Central Missouri.
So guys, if you're watching this right now and you want a deal right now, we've got 2 houses in Central Missouri how much would the rent be on those 2 houses?
I mean, you probably get a total of close to $1,500.
$1,500 a month. How much could they buy the house for?
30 grand total, 15 each. So
$15,000 each. So you can start, and I'm not saying that this is like your forever rental portfolio, but if you buy these houses, if you're a young person, you buy these houses, you fix them up, you do whatever, you know, and maybe it's not a really strong market, but like you're managing properties, you're in the game.
It's right by college town, like 15 minutes out.
What's that? What college town?
It's D2 UCM, Central Missouri.
What is
University of Central Missouri?
What city? What is that?
Right by Warrensburg.
Is that Mizzou?
No. Central Missouri is just like
what's their mascot?
The Mules.
The Mules.
The Mules. They're good at baseball. That's how I know.
You could rent those out to a college kid. Would a college kid want to live in?
Especially if you make it look nice.
Yeah, you know, like a kegerator in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say like buy rentals, pay down debt, and this is counterintuitive to what everybody else says out there. I think you want to sleep well at night. What happens is when you get aggressive, and I was a young guy, I got aggressive, man, I almost went under. And what happens is as people move further in their career, you want to like be able to sleep at night. So that you could I would recommend that you take on debt as a young guy and you pay it down. But I'm saying take on debt and pay it down. I'm not saying take on debt and like freaking go to the moon. I'm saying take your debt down, reinvest every capital that you have into paying down your debt. Like if it doesn't make any money for you, who gives a shit? You're just trying to play. You're playing the long game. You're not playing the short game. The short game is like, oh, I made $500 this month. Okay, big deal. You know, the long game is I made $500. I paid $500 more down on principal, and then in 10 years I don't have a fucking mortgage.
Yeah, you start owning a bunch of houses.
Yeah, like you asked me the other day is like, oh, is it fun having all these people working for you? I'm like, dude, I could like literally like if I don't own this building and I don't have employees, like I have like I don't know $60,000 more a month to do whatever on and like sit at my house and like watch Netflix all day. But what fun is that? You know, I like the challenge.
Yeah, no risk.
Yeah, no risk.
Cool. Okay. Next one. What's your process for building like, you know, you start buying them, but you start like buying them in mass. So building like a portfolio, like how would you start buying them?
Yeah, I like this question. I'm a Monopoly guy. So like I just get on one street and I just kind of try to get the next one and get the next one and get the next one and all in that same area because you're going to know what the tenant mix is like over there. You're going to know, like, that's why I'm in the Northeast, like where you're like, well, why didn't you buy other stuff?
Yeah.
So that's my tenant pool. Like if somebody's like, well, so I would recommend like, if you're going to be like, let's say you're in Kansas City, Missouri, like you like an Olathe guy, like buy an Olathe, stay in Olathe, like just be the dominant guy in wherever you're at. And if, like for me, I'm in the historical Northeast or what they call the East Side out here in Kansas City. I look for houses that are 2 or more bedrooms. I don't want a house that's 4,000 or 5,000 square foot.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot every time those tenants move out.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot. Yeah. I bought a few of those and they're great for like resale, but your perfect rental is like a 3-1, 1,400 square foot That's a perfect round right there.
Okay.
Yeah. 3-1 on a slab would be ideal, but we're in Missouri, so.
Here you got the stone basements from the 1800s.
Yeah, and built in the 1970s. Those are like up north. Do you see a bunch of those houses? Like I got a couple up north, and yeah, they're just way better. But what's going to happen is in the long game, and you were in freaking high school when this started happening, but even since I'd been here in Kansas City, I was buying these houses for 20 and 30 and 40 grand when I first moved out here. All those are the ones. The one we have today, the one that you locked down on, what was the street for 55?
Mercington?
Mercington.
Yeah.
For a house like that, I was paying like 25. So, or maybe on market though.
Yeah.
What would that house trade for on market right now?
Probably close to 180, 90.
80, 90.
That's what I'd say.
Yeah, so 80, 90. Right. And so I'm not saying that that's a big bump, but like, let's say, for those whole years I owned that, let's take the Mercington property. Let's say I bought that for $25,000, which I think I could have bought back 5 years ago.
Okay.
And it sucked. I didn't make any money on the deal, but now it's worth 90 grand.
You're up a lot.
Right. Like, even if I didn't make any money, like, even if the rent, like, I had bad tenants, things got screwed up, which I've had that happen plenty. I got one 1116 Agnes that was like 4 contractors through that house.
Jeez.
I've got another one, 3925 Chestnut, that like has taken me forever to finish. I finish everything. That's one thing about me. I finish everything. I don't care if I lose money on the deal. It's like a mentality. Like, I finish what I start no matter what. I don't ever call it quits.
Yeah.
No matter if I lose money, make money, I finish everything. I think you've seen that about me, like,
Yeah.
3001 East 52nd, finish it. Maple, finish it. Like, it's a mentality because the market will fix your mistakes.
Yeah. Speaking of mistakes, that was my next question. What do you see new investors, like their biggest mistake they're making right now?
Most of them don't do shit. Like, most of them are too scared to do anything.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of people that hire me, they'll hire me and I'll tell them what to do and they won't listen. And they're not even pushing back to say like, well, I don't understand it. You're not explaining it the right way. Cause I could understand that. Like, they're like, I'm probably glossing over a lot of things. I've been doing this a long time, but they're not saying like, well, if I do that, what happens next?
Not asking questions.
They're just like, I'm too scared. And what happens is fear builds. And the more things that you're afraid of, the bigger it becomes in your mind. Right. And then like, I think we talked about this last time, like heights, right? Like you gotta jump into the fear. Like, dude, I got stuck in the elevator yesterday and the first thing that jumped in my mind, oh fuck. And I was like, relax, be calm. If you're here 2 freaking hours, what's the big deal? Like, but being stuck in an elevator is no fun. And I know people freak out about that. I told a bunch of people about it.
Phone.
What's that?
Didn't have a phone yet?
And I didn't have my phone either. Yeah. So I was like, just be calm. And I think that the reality is you got to put yourself in difficult situations. And if you don't put yourself in a difficult situation, as a new investor, you don't start, then you're going to fail. If you realize that like the failure, and when people said this as I was a young guy, I didn't understand it. People said like the journey of entrepreneurship is through failure.
Yeah.
Like, I failed on this building, but how much am I learning? How many connections did I make? Like, you have to look at your failures and you have to say, what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
Okay, what would I do differently next time? I know what I did wrong. I was like, I probably discounted how much the taxes were. Like, I was like, shit. Like, I looked at it, I was like, oh, that'll be covered. But, you look at things, I think that what I'm saying is, you, as a new investor, to kind of summarize the answers, lean into failure. Don't be afraid of failure.
Yeah.
Like, every failure that you make is going to make you a better person and a better investor.
Yeah. So if you don't jump in, then you won't fail. And if you don't fail, you don't learn.
Yeah. You'll be sitting on the sidelines wishing you would have. And there's more of those people than anybody else. Like, there's so many people who are like, I'm sure, like, in baseball, they're like, I wish I would have joined the team. Dude, I still regret not playing Pee Wee football. Like, 40 years later. Like, I was like, oh, I should have tried out. So I think that you regret the actions that you don't take, and you might regret some of the decisions that you make. I certainly have, but you're never going to regret taking action.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't regret it.
Yeah.
Not yet.
I don't think you will. You're in the right situation.
Cool. I know everyone says like, first thing, you got to find a contractor, you got to find a team that won't screw you over. That's like the most important thing. Would you say that's accurate? And if so, like, how would you go about finding?
Just don't pay anybody money up front. That's the best thing. I think that, if you know how to do this stuff yourself, I think it's like So here's why flipping is so important. Wholesaling, you learn contracts and you learn maybe a little bit about valuation and you learn how to connect a deal.
Yeah.
But flipping, you learn like orchestra. Like you got to learn how to close the deal, how to get the financing, how then to find the contractor, how then to see the job through, how to get the utilities on, then to sell it for a profit, and then what if things go wrong? How do you exit that deal? So you learn so many big skills. If you notice that every one of my questions is about skills, or every one of my answers is about skills, if you learn so many skills that it just makes you a good investor. So with flipping, my recommendation is do it, but don't pay anybody money up front. And if you're going to do a cosmetic fixer upper that if you had to, you could finish it yourself.
Yeah.
Like with YouTube, like you could paint it. I mean, if the floors are bad, really when it comes down to it, like if it's got major electrical damage, you're not finishing that unless you're an electrician. If it's got major plumbing issues, you're not finishing that. So if it's like a cosmetic fixer upper that you could finish it yourself if you needed to.
You got AI now.
I don't know what AI is going to do for you on a flip.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know. Just, how do you do this? How do you do that? It usually gives you a pretty good answer.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's great on a computer, and I think it's great for like legal stuff. Mm-hmm. But learning how to do something like electrical, are you getting? Or plumbing. There's a lot that AI is not going to teach.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what your thoughts on AI are and how to implement it into your business, that type of thing.
I think I was just talking about this earlier. So I think that AI is going to change our lives forever. I see that anybody who's working a job at like McDonald's right now is going to be replaced. They're going to be like think about this. So the guys in New York are trying to raise minimum wage $20-$30 an hour. McDonald's is going to go and invest in a robot because that's where we're coming next.
Did you see what I put on my story yesterday on Instagram?
I think I did, but I didn't look at it. It was like I go through the stories and I see like
it's crazy. There's a new company. I think it's OpenAI or something. They just released like to the public.
OpenAI is owned by Sam Altman. That's
okay.
Elon started that company.
Okay, so yeah, it's essentially robots now that can actually like what do you say, autominate or something?
Autonomously?
Something like that. It was a word like that. But I mean, they work with humans. You can talk to them, have conversations. They can do chores. And it's like $20,000. I mean, dude, those people are going to be throwing them for labor, like business.
Hello.
owners.
And what's your HR going to cost you? What's your sick leave going to cost you?
They have no failings, dude.
Yeah. Like, I mean, we're in the robot stage. Like fast food, I would bet you, and I'm glad we're recording this live. I would bet you anything in the bank that in 5 years, most fast food restaurants are going to seem to have very few employees, if any. Because what do you need an employee for? To screw something up? I mean, what is the employee doing at the restaurant? Because right now you walk into McDonald's, they got a kiosk, right? Mm-hmm. I can order my food right there. So what's the employee doing?
Just talking. I mean,
no, they're just bringing you your food. So what happens when the robot comes there?
Bringing you food.
Yeah, adios.
Yeah, a lot more reliable, consistent.
Totally. I mean, human beings screw up a food order. Like, let's talk about restaurants. I don't want to interact with the waiter. Like, we had a good meal the other day. Me and my son, I took him last night to the place across the street. And the waitress was nice and everything, but I was like, man, I just want the food. You know what I mean? Like,
You guys a tip a robot?
I don't think it would have to tip a robot. That's a good point. I want it now. You would not have to tip a robot for sure. That would be another major benefit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I think autonomous driving happening for sure. Like, think about how cool it's going to be to roll down the road and let's say my Escalade. I mean, what's the thing I'm worried about? I want to be on my phone doing something. I want to be freaking.
God, taxis now with no driver. You see it?
Yeah. I forget. There's two companies. One is owned by Elon called. You might want to look it up. What is it? One is My Taxi, and they're trying it in Austin. I think they're trying it in several other cities. But yeah, that's happening. That's already happening. Yeah. So I just see that as like. The only time you're going to drive is it's going to be like a rural area where the roads are not known. And it's going to be safer because, I mean, we're all distracted drivers. Everybody is. There's nobody who's playing it perfect.
I mean, unless you got like your phone car, like McLaren.
Yeah.
You don't want to drive that.
Yeah, that's true. But if you got a robot to drive, you're just looking for the adrenaline, right?
Yeah, exactly. Go fast.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that AI, to kind of circle back to the question, I think that AI... I mean, if there was ever a gold rush, like there's always a little, so like, let's go backwards. So the first time, and I talked to you about this last time, when I made my first quick money was Emulex, the stock market. I bought a stock, EMLX, from Investors Business Daily, and it went up, and I got like bad proof of concept. I think that people are going to make a lot of money in AI in the next 5 years, and then it's going to go away.
I was going to ask you if you think people should, like, if you would invest at all in AI stocks.
I absolutely think there's going to be a gold rush there. I think that it's going to be a lot of money. I think there's going to be a lot of lost money, a lot of made money, and, let the buyer beware. But if I was to, the number one stock right now in the United States, and you can look it up. Do you have your app right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so go to stocks on apple.com and look up NVIDIA. NVIDIA has been around forever. They've been around since like 1994, 92 or some shit like that. I think they're over a $3 trillion company. They're probably up to 4. I don't know. I haven't even paid attention in a while.
Right now it's $200 a share. I don't know what they're worth.
So go to the market cap at the bottom.
Okay.
If you look at market cap,
it's 4.9.
4.9 trillion.
Yeah.
Okay, so pull the graph and see what it was 60 days ago. I know it was like 3.2 trillion like 60 days ago. So it's worth $5 trillion. So the graph, so you have the 10 years. So you can see from the 10 year. So from 2015, if you would have bought NVIDIA in 2015, it was less than $50 a share. It's now $211 a share. The market cap is 4.9 million. The average daily volume is 170. The 52-week high. So what we do right here, I can't go deep in the market cap from this app, but if you go look, I know that I looked at the market cap probably 60, 90 days ago. It was $3 trillion.
Wow. He had saying it's at 4.9 right now. I don't know if this is right, but it should be.
Oh, that's right. That's 100% right. So,
yeah, I randomly put money in a video last year and then I pulled it out. But
what'd you buy the share for?
I don't even remember. It was like a quick trade or something when I was kind of playing around with it.
Yeah. Stock market's fun.
Funny. Yeah.
Stock market is definitely fun. I can give you advice about the stock market. I've been investing in the stock market since I was 14 years old. I bought my first, my aunt had a investment group. So she got me into it where I would buy what is called DRIP funds, dividend reinvestment programs, and it would allow you to buy a partial share as a young guy. So I bought all of these stocks, and I'd invest like $25, $50, and I could buy like a portion. So I had Intel, I had Washington Mutual. I watched that thing go down to zero. You guys don't even know about it anymore because it's no longer during the financial crisis of 2008, it went to zero. I watched it literally. I was looking at my statements, and I was like, oh, it was at 66, at 44. Now it's at 33. I'm like, oh, it's a good deal right now. It went down to 11. I'm like, ooh, that's a really good deal. Let's buy more. And then it went to 3. I go, this thing's going out of business. But the stock market, in my opinion, is a quick hit game. Mm-hmm. It's not a long hold game. Like if you look at Microsoft, look up Microsoft over 10 years. I bought Microsoft for $27 a share. I held on to it for like 10 years. You know what it's worth right now? Crazy. I mean, it's probably $300 or $400.
I was going to say.
Yeah, but I held on to it for 10 years. I didn't touch it for 10 years. Then all of a sudden, it went like crazy. So stock market, when you buy a stock, you go to the stock market is highly emotional. The reason that stock is up there is because it's based on future earnings, not present earnings.
Yeah, it's all future based.
It's all future based. So that's got $2 trillion in the last 60 to 90 days. I'm like almost positive about it. Like someone could call me out on here right now, but I'm pretty sure, like I had looked at it. It was because Apple was the first $1 trillion company. Exxon, I think, was the second $1 trillion company. And Tesla, Elon's going to be the first trillionaire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he isn't already. I think he probably is.
His new deal he's cutting is going to make him a trillionaire.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Tesla.
He's going to make $1 trillion.
Yeah.
Except for, what were they trying to do with Tesla? Oh, do you know that BlackRock, who else? BlackRock, Main Street, JP Morgan Chase, and one other company, it's another big one, similar, Vanguard, own a lot of percentages of Tesla.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Like over 50%.
Not surprised. I mean,
well, they own
in Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to, what's his name? Flint? Flint, the guy who owns BlackRock.
God, I don't know.
I forget his name.
Okay.
Hey, thank you so much for tuning into our podcast right now. I am so happy that you are here. You are in the right spot to be getting inspired by other people that have just achieved their goals so that you can achieve your goals. Do me a favor. leave us a 5-star review. It really helps us grow. And give us comments and feedbacks. We read those. It helps us grow. The most important person in this podcast is the listener, right? And so if you give us your feedback, it will allow us to create a better podcast for you. And make sure you enjoy the show and leave us a 5-star review.
Back to acquisition side of things, like for your wholesaler, sales and marketing, that's pretty much the business of wholesaling.
Right.
Like master that. What's the best way to learn that? I know books are huge. You like books.
Yeah, I think that sales is number one because marketing is never mastered. Marketing is always changing. Like there's like we talked about earlier, like you can do direct mail, you can do PPC, you can do television, you can do radio, you can do everything. It's all going to work. But sales is where you get the best deals. Sales is where you build the best rapport. And nobody's buying from you or nobody's selling you their property unless they like you. You're not closing deals unless they like you. And you're not, so you could have all the fucking marketing in the world. You could have leads coming out your ass, but if you can't sell them, you're done. Yeah. Sales wins in everything all the time, every day. Sales drives everything in business. Like Amazon, sales drives. Everybody knows who Amazon is, but do they really need to advertise? No. So sales wins every single time. So master sales, I think, how do you got to practice. So if you read a book, I recommend a guy named Anthony Hopkins, and then just practice the shit he tells you. Like I used to practice at Starbucks. I'd go to Barnes & Noble, there's a great Barnes & Noble up here. And I always forget the name of that place. Is it not the Legends? The place up by me. What's that, North Mall?
Zona Rosa?
Zona Rosa, that one, yeah. So we were at the Barnes & Noble the other day, and I would go and practice doing compliments to like the Starbucks people. I think you can practice with merchant people, and the art of sales is persuasion. So see how nice they are to you when you try sales tactics. And they're going to be like, once you start hitting the buttons, or go to McDonald's and like get an ice cream cone and say something nice to the person and see, like, you'll get free stuff. I learned this when I was working at Burger King. I worked at Burger King and I would give people compliments and people started giving me money. And I was like, whoa. Wow, and I was being honest because I was like, I like your car. I would rode my bike to work. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. And then like you see people start giving me money. I was like, oh, well, that's worse. And then I learned from other guys around me, with girls, when you're trying to get girls when you're a young guy, I was like, what do you do? What do you say to them? He's like, I always give them a compliment. I was like, oh, that works. Okay.
Yeah.
So sales 100%. And then with marketing, I think these days you just do social media. You don't need to pay for it. Mm-hmm. Like if you're trying to get known, if you're a wholesaler, I mean, who do you need? You're going to do marketing. You can go off the MLS right now. So. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a good one. So in the business, obviously you see a lot of people fizzle out, go broke, lose money. How do you last? How do you last in real estate?
So it's funny. You got to buy rentals. Like that's number one. Like you have to buy rentals and pay down debt because market cycles are going to change and you're going to change. Your life's going to change. You're going to have kids. You're going to have bad relationships. You're going to have bad business partnerships. You're going to get sued. Bad things are going to happen to you. If you don't own rentals and you don't invest in your stuff and you don't save your money, you won't be able to survive. And so what happens is, even as long as I've been in it, I can look at guys, what happens, you'll hit a good market cycle and the good market cycle will like make you more money than what you've ever made before. Mm-hmm. Like we haven't hit one yet, but we'll hit one. And then what'll happen is like everybody thinks they're a winner. But the reality is you just hit a good market cycle. And then what you do with that money separates you. Like I had a really good market cycle from 2009 to 2012, like 3-year market cycle, like where I made a lot of money in a short period of time. But I've been survived. But I watched all these people make the same amount of money and more. Nobody lasted. Mm-hmm. Everybody made poor decisions with their money. And there's only a few people that are left. Like I can still talk to one of them, shout out Jared Jones, who told me the single biggest mistake he made was selling all his rental properties. Like he bought a bunch, sold them, moved on. You got to keep investing in real estate and acquiring more real estate and paying down debt. That's what's going to keep you your head above water. Yeah. Even if you bought like one rental, then you're like, I'm not going to sell that. You have to be really disciplined with your money. Don't sell your assets like right now. Like unless your assets are losing you lots of money. But if it's like, it's just a rough time, I need to get the capital, like, I understand, like, sometimes you gotta do things to survive. So I understand there's like this is not like universal advice. Like, I had to sell a house in 2007 because I was out of money. So sometimes you gotta sell it because you're out of money. But if you can be disciplined and keep reinvesting, that's the key thing.
How do you stay disciplined when you start making a lot of money? How do you wake up every day, stay disciplined, stay motivated?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think you always are motivated. I think that you have to keep it fresh. Like, when you're doing the same thing all the time, that's why I'm trying new shit out all the time, because I think that doing the same thing over and over again is a little bit of a grind. So I think that you have to, like, continually educate yourself. Like, I'm really excited right now on a couple things that we're working on that you don't know about, but, like, I'm going to lean into a little bit to help my wife build out an Amazon store and help, because I don't think guys buy shit off from guys. Like, I've tried to sell shit online and I haven't sold anything. So I think that, like, helping her get her, like, personal brand, where she's really talented with stuff, and really, you see the talented team we have with, like, Chicky and stuff, like, really dialing in those types of things it keeps me excited about things, and learning new things keeps me excited about things. I like to learn. So I think that as long as I'm going to the office where I'm not doing things that are repetitive, even though there are going to be repetitive every day, as long as I'm learning something new every day, that's what keeps me excited about.
New goals too?
Yeah.
I know you've been in the gym.
Yeah, well, not as much as I need to be, but no, I think for me, going to that, changing to that, I think that the biggest thing for there is, like, realizing where you're weak at. Like, for me, I got the finances handled. And then, you start looking at yourself in the camera, you're like, holy shit, man. And, like, you realize that you've been putting off the thing that's the most important to you. Yeah. And you're like, wait, it didn't take me overnight to get rich. It took a long time. It's not going to take me overnight to get in shape. So I think, like, with the gym and stuff, I realized, like, cool, I've done 200 yoga classes. I've done all this stuff, but my goals are, like, to be able to do handstands, to be in dog shape by the time I'm 50. And I know that that's a long journey. And if I do more good things than bad things, I'll get there. And I think that it matters more. Like, you can probably eat whatever you want. You don't
burn quick.
You don't have a huge appetite though, do you?
Yeah, I do. Bro, I can't leave the house in the morning without eating. Like, I have to eat breakfast.
Really?
So sick, dude. Yeah.
I don't eat breakfast.
You're lucky. Like, it ruins my day. Like, church, like 9 a.m. on Sundays, I have to go get food in the morning, or make food in the morning.
Really?
Yeah. I can't leave without eating, so.
Well, I think I mean, I usually don't have my first meal until dinner, and that's discipline, because you want to eat, but I'm not burning a ton of calories anymore, so that my goals are less financial these days and more like mental, physical.
That's good.
And trying to become a better version of myself in my later years,
That's important, especially when you get kids. And
yeah. Well, that's the thing is, like, I'm really worried about your guys' generation too, man. Like,
that's what everyone says.
Yeah.
It's bad. I mean, I see it, man.
Well, I'm worried for my kids, that generation, is like, how easy is it just to sit, like, how many people just give their kids their iPad? And it's easy. I understand it, because, like, the kid's making noise, and, like, you give him that thing, he shuts up. But it's really going to be hard if I was, like, a young guy, and I told my kids, like, I can't teach them a lot of things that I could teach them how to make money. I could teach them how to, like, get good at certain things. But, like, in terms of, like, the skill set of building stuff and, like, being technical, I can put him in the right and her in the right places where they're going to learn both of those things, because I know it's important. So I'm going to make them do certain things that I know are going to be, like, almost something like, it's going to be like survival mode. Like, do you know how to freaking jumpstart your battery? Dude, if you watch people, nobody knows how to do anything. Like, do you know how to change your tire?
Yeah, they're like, I've never had to do it, but I think I know how.
But you really never have done it, so you haven't been tested on it, but you think you could if you had to.
Single mom, that's my excuse.
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying, like, I know even how to do it. The other day I was like, oh, there's where the jack is. I'm just saying, like, my dad taught me how to do it, like, one time, but it's not something that we are faced with a lot of times. And I think, like, skill sets, like knowing how to build stuff, knowing electrical, those types of skill sets are going to be super important for this generation.
Definitely. I mean, kids don't even, like, go outside when they're younger. Like, it's not like it's crazy.
Yeah, I make my kids go outside. I literally we have 11 acres. That's why I bought it. They know how to. My son knows how to plant trees. My daughter knows how to plant trees. They know how to do weed mat. They know how to do stuff.
You're doing good.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Wanted to ask you, because this was something back when I was kind of doing it on my own. Like I always had the question. I think a lot of newer people, and people that are doing well right now, everyone needs to scale and know how to grow a team. So I would say, what are your biggest tips, and how did you grow a team? People you can trust and.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can ever trust anybody. So I think just throw that thing out the window and just like give trust. Don't think about trust, because I think that like people are going to screw you and they're going to let you down, and that's just part of life. I think that to grow a team, try to find an executive assistant is your first thing. I mean, you see how invaluable May is to me and some of the other people. Like that is the first thing I did, is hire an assistant. Once you hire an assistant, then you build a team. Okay. So you just try to figure out like, okay, well, what am I doing that is like a low dollar hour in activity? All right. If I'm going to show rental properties, that's not the best use of my time. Who can do that for me? So you just try to find people that can replace the things that you're doing. And then really like where to grow it, like you have to find that perfect person to run your company. I'm not there yet, but I would like to find someone to run my entire business so I can go and take on the bigger projects and stuff like that and really be a risk taker. Like someone to run the day-to-day to make it, because I'm not a great manager. There's way better managers than I am. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that I'm not 100% the right person to say how to really build the team, because I haven't built it to the max. I mean, there's guys who are like Jeff Bezos who have CEOs and, CFOs and that type of level. That's the level.
Vacation.
What's that?
They're just on vacation, man.
Yeah, I mean, he says specifically that he wakes up, he farts around, Jeff Bezos, for a couple hours in the morning, and he says he likes to have all his meetings done before noon because he likes to make 2 big decisions per day.
Okay.
So. But growing a team, first thing, executive assistant. Usually most people don't think are getting past that.
Yeah. What about on the wholesaling side, like growing an acquisitions team? You have VAs?
Yeah, so I think that first thing, executive assistant, I think that you got to really, before you replace yourself on the buying, you got to find somebody who knows how to have a good rapport with people, knows how to buy. That's probably the hardest part of the business, is meeting with a person to buy the house, because you can miss a lot of shots in that one. So I would replace myself last if I was doing that, unless, you know what I mean? That's the most critical component, is buying deep.
Like the closer?
Yeah, that's the most. So I would replace all the admin stuff. Like that stuff's like, you can market the house. That's easy. You can do that in your freaking sleep.
It takes up time.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Automations, those can be laborsome. You see how that, like, it's taking time to get that stuff right. So find VAs to do the computer stuff and the transactional paperwork stuff.
Okay. Back to social media a little bit, because you weren't ever on social media somewhat recently, and now you've got a good following. I think, like, in this generation, would you agree, like, social media is very important for business owners, or somewhat important?
Right now it is. I don't know where it's going to be in 10 years. I'm from the days of MySpace. So social media is important, but you also have to use it versus let it use you. And we can all get wrapped up, and we all have addictive personalities, and social media is meant to make you addicted to it. And so occasionally you got to delete the app and just like, are you using it, or is it using you? What is it doing for you? And if you say you're doing social media, are you really doing social media, or is social media doing you? The best thing that's come from my social media is podcasts and I would say like quote unquote fame, because I think that you have authority just because you're on social media. Yeah. With that same token, there's a lot of people who are on social media who have authority who don't know shit. So,
Definitely.
Yeah, I think that there's going to be, and there's a lot of con men out there, man. There's plenty of people, shout out Section 8 Kareem, who will lie to your face.
Put on a front.
Oh, totally put on a front, sell you some bullshit course, and you're like, yeah, man. And even guys like me, where we start to question ourselves, like, does this guy know more than me? Like, because he's way more successful than I was at that age. Did I miss something? And then you realize, oh, they're just shining people on. They're just lying. Mm-hmm. Oldest game in the book.
Screw a lot of people over, man.
Yeah, most of those guys, what will happen is you'll see it. Like, they'll have a lot of success in a short period of time. The government takes a while to catch up. But then the FTC will come in and freaking send those guys to jail. I see a lot of guys go to jail. If you rip people off, you'll go to jail. It's just a matter of time.
Mm-hmm.
So
talking about government, and let's go to taxes. That's an important topic.
Yeah.
Especially in real estate. Like, how do you implement taxes and like those strategies?
Real estate is the number one way that the rich avoid paying taxes because of something called depreciation. Depreciation is a code word for loss. Once you master that, and with the Airbnb cutout, like with Airbnb, now as a W-2 employee, you can not pay taxes. You can get the real estate professional tax status. So if you are a W-2 employee and you have an Airbnb and you spend 500 hours or more on that Airbnb, like you're the active manager, like you can take a real estate professional status. So if you I just talked to one of my students about this the other day, Logan, and I was like, man, honestly, for you, like you should just buy an Airbnb because he's paying like let's say $60,000 to the government, $280,000 to the government. If he bought an Airbnb and was able to, for $300,000 in the Lake of the Ozarks, and was able to take a cost segregation, take a $90,000 loss against his income, he might be able to claw back $40,000 or $50,000 in taxes. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he didn't make. And let's say the Airbnb made him zero, but he was able to claw back taxes. We already said real estate's the long game. Yeah. We're not really playing it for cash flow. You're making it for appreciation. That's really where you make the money in real estate. Okay. Like cash flow is great. Don't get me wrong. But where you really make the money is the appreciation. That's what makes you wealthy.
Yeah. So taking depreciation and using that against your taxes.
So it's simple. You have income and you have expenses. Depreciation is an expense. So if you can make both of those things equal zero, if you can make your income here, but your depreciation here and it equals zero, then you pay no taxes. Or wherever the thing is, that's what nobody understands. Like they're like, well, Donald Trump, you didn't pay like depreciation. Like if this property is worth $6 million, but I got to take a 30% depreciation on it, how much did I lose? $1.8 million. If I only made $1.8 million, how much did I make? If I got a $1.8 million loss over here, and a $1.8 million net over here, even though I made this money, I actually get to keep all my money and pay no taxes.
Yeah.
That's what the rich understand.
Okay.
Let's talk about like a deal that went south or something that you thought was going to be good and turned out bad. What's like a big life lesson or something that you...
Man, I got a lot of those.
Failure.
I think when you bet on appreciation, so like my first, like I told you, I almost went bankrupt.
Yeah.
So when I first was investing in real estate, like I was really conservative. I bought the house, rented out the room, bought the other house, rented out the rooms, and then I was like, well, I want it faster, right? I think in my mind I wanted it faster. And so I heard something that I wanted to hear, which was that the Vegas was going up like crazy. And I didn't know like about cash flow. I just knew that like I wasn't, I didn't know enough, or maybe I did. But I did have good advice. My mentor at the time told me, you're betting on speculation, like kind of like the stock market. But with a house, it costs you money every month. And so I was buying a house, hoping it would go up in value, and it cost me money. So it was losing me money every month. So it didn't cash flow. And then it tanked. So imagine you bought a stock that cost you money every month that tanked. So now I can't sell it. With the stock, you can sell it, but with real estate, if you're upside down, you can't sell it. If you have a mortgage, if I have a mortgage for $300,000 and the house comes to $120,000, what can I do?
You can't do shit.
I can't do anything.
Keep throwing money in the garbage.
Or you just let it go and you go to foreclosure and you go to bankruptcy. So those are my options. So that was the single best lesson I ever learned. Like I said, failure, the lessons are in failure. The single best lesson I ever learned was almost going under. Because once I realized I could survive that, and I held on to those houses for 17 years. Once I realized I could survive that, I was like, I can survive anything. Like, I'll just figure out a way. Like, even with this building, I was like, I'll just figure out a way. Like, I know I will always figure out a way. So I think that, like, self-belief is probably the best lesson you can have, is believe in yourself. Like, you're going to have finance, and nothing's going to kill you. Like, let's say I went bankrupt. I wouldn't be dead. Mm-mm. I might have some scars, you know what I mean? But I wouldn't be dead. So, I think that, like, people are too scared of financial risk. Don't be scared of financial risk. The worst thing you're going to do is go bankrupt or owe the IRS money, but you'll be all right.
Cool. All right. I'm going to jump back to real estate a couple more times, maybe 2 more questions.
Okay, cool.
So back to wholesaling, what's like the best type of lead to go after?
The best type of wholesale lead is a motivated seller. I mean, that sounds pretty cliche to say it, but there's not like, someone who needs to sell and needs money.
Where are those at?
Where are those at? I mean, people who are behind on taxes, people who are losing their house to foreclosure, and people who have a extenuating circumstance that is pushing pressure on them. Could be code liens, could be a death in the family, probate. Those are the most motivated leads. And then those are hard to find. So I always say that tired landlords are, they've been disciplined and they're looking for a quick sale and they're looking to move on. Like, I probably at some point in time would be like, yeah, whatever,
Yeah, especially if they're doing well, they don't care to let it go.
Nah, people are not motivated by money. They're not always trying to get the top dollar. But where you're going to make your best money is that people who have like no emotional attachment want the thing done. Like, those are the deals I've ripped, man, just ripped.
Yeah.
When you rip a deal, you know about it. Like, you remember every single one of those ones. It's like hitting a grand slam, man. It like, whoa. And you're not going to hit a lot of grand slams in life, but like, I remember buying a house for 10 grand, sold the next day for 71, bought a house for 100, sold the next day for 170, bought a house for 100, sold the next day for 240. Like, I bought a commercial property for 1.5, sold it for 2.25. Like, I've made some big licks, and I think that the only way those happen is if you're taking lots of swings,
Okay. Yeah. So back to flips real quick. What's like the best way, or how do you minimize rehab and like the expense of it?
Don't actually hire a contractor. Don't actually hire a contractor. Be the contractor. So what a contractor is doing, if you go in the phone book and you look up like Brayden Metcalf construction or something like that, you got a guy who's going to go find a bunch of subs, which are people like plumbers, electricians, painters, tile guys, woodworkers. And the general contractor is going to babysit your job for you, and he's going to charge you a shit ton of money for doing it. So if you were going to hire a contractor, hire somebody who's actually on the job site working and doing the work and has a crew. Okay. If you were going to hire a contractor. Otherwise, manage the job yourself.
You go find the people.
You go find the people. You go negotiate the prices. Because, like, let's be honest, a contractor is not going to try to get you the best price. He's got his people. He's got his electrician. He's got his plumber. He likes those guys, but working with those guys for a long time.
Yeah.
And he's not going to beat them down on their prices. You're going to beat everybody down on their prices. So be your own contractor.
How do you go find those people?
Well, where do you find fish?
At jobs,
in the water, right? Like, so go where they're at. Where are you going to find those people? You can go look for jobs. That would be harder. Or you can go to Home Depot and go to the electrical aisle and look for somebody who looks like a contractor, or go to the electrical supply store, or go to the air conditioning supply store and say, like, hey, who comes in here all the time? Who buys a lot of equipment from you? Who buys a lot of electrical work from you? Like, that's where you go.
Okay.
Where do you go find the drunks? At the bars?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like liquor stores. Like go where their bait is, right? Where do you find fish? Where the bait is. And so I think that you can go on the job sites, and that's going to be where you find the people and you can see what kind of work they do. And that's going to be a critical component of that. And I agree with that, but Home Depot, like, if you were to, like, you could always find my guys at Home Depot, like, even my guys. Like,
no, make sure you tell them that they're going there.
Yeah. So I think that Home Depot, electrical supply stores, stuff like that.
Okay.
Get out there. But Home Depot will probably cover everything.
Cool. All right, that's all I hit. Try to hit every section.
You got it. You did good, man.
Anything else that you can think of that we should address?
I would just say, like, if you're a brand new investor and you're thinking about getting started in real estate, you don't need my help. You don't need anybody's help. You just need belief in yourself and to be able to take action. And if you take action, you're going to find a way. You're going to stumble along things that are going to help you be successful. You're going to think things that are a waste of money. But every one of those things was some part of your journey.
You just take action. I mean, I'm pretty much you're living proof. I'm living proof. I mean, I was 19 or 18 at the time with literally no money at all.
Yeah. And think about how far you've come.
Yeah.
And you're probably not anywhere you want to be. Neither am I. Like, that's just a part of it. So, like, wherever your journey is, just understand that it's your journey. That don't compare yourself to others. We all want to do that. Like we all want to compare ourselves to others. Try not to, but rather than comparing yourself to others, say, I want to get to where that guy's at.
Yeah, look up to him.
Look up to him. Don't compare yourself to him. Everybody's like, you don't know what shoes they're walking in. You don't know the nightmares that they're having. Like, everything on social media looks really nice, really good. I can tell you, it's not easy Like, be willing to do whatever it takes. Like, don't be afraid of doing the hard work. Like, at the end of the day, and I think I saw this, one of the guys I like a lot on social media is Thatch out of Seattle. He's very much like me, a couple of years older, but he's picking up garbage the other day. He showed most people don't show that side of real estate. They're like, oh yeah, I'm just sitting here, like
Everyone's doing it.
whatever. Like, dude, you got to be willing to like clean the freaking garbage. You got to be willing to kick the homeless guys out. You got to be willing to do whatever it takes to be successful. If you're willing to do whatever it takes and nothing's beneath you, then you'll be successful.
Cool, man.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on. I hope everyone learned something.
Yeah, you did a great job. Brayden's going to be a super successful guy. We've got this in chronological order. When are you going to buy your first property?
2026.
2026. Cool. What are you going to buy?
Start buying rentals, but I gotta buy a house first. So.
You got to buy a house. That's 100%. That's your first rental. Just look at it as your first rental. Like, I'm going to buy a house for myself. What are you going to buy? Do you know what you're going to buy?
More bedrooms. The goal, like what you were telling me, is to house hack. So, live there for a year, maybe 2 years, rent out some of the other bedrooms, however long it takes, and
Yeah.
Well,
the coolest way to live large as a young guy is to have other people pay for your stuff. So if you get to the point where, like, and I was getting $500 a month 22 years ago. So 22 years ago, I imagine you can get more than $500 a room now, right?
yeah, I think probably 800,
800.
especially if you're in a good area. Like I was thinking, like Overland Park area.
So what kind of house are you trying to buy?
Probably like around 25 to 30,000.
Monthly?
Yeah.
Okay. So 25 to 3,000. So if you rent out 3 rooms for 800, you're paying $100
Yeah.
for your mortgage and building the equity. And, it's just about how much money you keep versus how much money you spend. So I think that, like, if you look at things like that and you're like, hey, I have a car payment, let me pay down debt. Hey, I have a house payment, let me pay down debt. The more money, and then I think be an excellent saver and keep investing as quick as possible, then you can do whatever you want. Because if you're super disciplined as a young guy and you go and say, all right, I'm going to buy this house, I'm going to pay it down, you can go travel. And that's one thing I recommend. Go travel, go work, and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to take 2 weeks off. And take 2 weeks off and then go do whichever you want to do. You've been good at traveling already. Like, you went to Vegas since you've been here, Florida. I think you went somewhere else. I remember you saying something else. But, like, definitely live your life. Don't just work your ass off and don't do nothing,
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, guys, make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow, make sure you share, and make sure you take action. We'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.
Man, I am so happy that you turned into the Millionaire Mentorship Podcast. It's something that I've been working on for over 3 years right now. We're up to 150 podcast episodes. A lot of them are virtual. A lot of them are in studio, which is what we prefer. If you have a guest that you think that should be on our podcast, all you got to do is comment who it is. And we'll reach out to them, or if you want to reach out to them and reach out to us, we'd love to have them on a show. We're looking for entertaining, inspirational people that, just like you hear on the podcast every week, that can bring value and help our listening audience achieve their goals. If that's something for you, comment down below and let us know.